The Generals of the Yang Family, Chapter 11.
Imagine for a second you're an emperor. You have probably the best army on the planet at the time.
Right?
You've got your enemies surrounded. You've built a wall around their city. You are firing so many arrows, the walls literally look like a pincushion.
And still nothing.
Still nothing. You're stuck. So what do? Call your generals. Check your supplies. No.
Yeah.
You take a nap.
And you let a ghost tell you where to attack?
Exactly.
It sounds like pure fantasy,
Yeah.
but this is, the literary reality of the fall of the Northern Han. And you're right, it shows this incredible mix in Chinese storytelling between gritty, real-world logistics, building walls, starving people, and this deep belief in cosmological destiny.
That's what I love about this source. The arrows are real, but the dream is just as real, tactically speaking. So today we're unpacking how the Song dynasty finally cracked the nut of Taiwan.
And what a cast of characters. We have a legendary general changing sides, a desperate king.
And a military strategy hidden in a riddle about water. It's a huge moment in the story.
Oh, absolutely. Taking Northern Han wasn't just another skirmish. This was the final piece of the puzzle for the Song. If they take this city, they unify the region.
But if they fail?
If they fail, they look weak.
Okay.
The Liao dynasty to the north might just decide to roll right over them.
Okay, so the stakes are incredibly high. But before we even get to the siege, we have to talk about the biggest acquisition of the season.
The MVP.
The Song dynasty gets a free agent who changes everything. Yang Ye, old General Yang.
Free agent is a polite way of putting it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a defector. But in this story, he's the gold standard of martial virtue.
And the chapter kicks off with generals rushing to Emperor Taizong saying, hey, Yang Ye and his sons are on their way to surrender.
This is huge news. It's like hearing the other team's star quarterback is walking into your locker room and asking for a jersey.
And Taizong knows it. He doesn't just send some low-level official. He rolls out the red carpet.
A serious red carpet. He sends the 8th prince, the Ba Lang, to the White Horse Station to welcome him personally.
With drums, flags, the whole 9 yards. A real spectacle.
It is, but this is where the text gives us a really fascinating psychological detail. You'd think Yang Yi would be relieved, right?
Really. He's vulnerable, he's switching sides.
Instead, he rides up, he sees this massive reception, and the text says he looks haughty, displeased.
I found that so interesting. If the emperor's nephew is there with a welcome band, I'm thinking, great, they like me. Is he just arrogant?
I don't think it's arrogance. I think it's about status. It's about face.
Okay.
Think about it. He hasn't formally surrendered yet. He hasn't negotiated anything.
Okay.
By throwing a victory parade before he even gets off his horse, it kind of sends the message that he's a trophy.
Like, look what we've captured.
Exactly. It strips him of his agency. They're parading him like a prize, not welcoming an equal.
That makes perfect sense. He's a proud general, not a prisoner. So the tension must have been just, wow, you've got the Song officials all smiling.
And Yang Ye is on his horse, looking like he might just turn around and leave.
So who breaks the ice?
The most unlikely person, really. Huiyanzan.
The guy with the iron whips, the brute force guy.
That's him. But here, he shows this incredible emotional intelligence. He steps in and says, basically, General, don't misunderstand. This isn't a show, it's respect. That man over there, that's the Emperor's own nephew.
And that just flips a switch in Yang Ye's head.
Instantly, the text says he was greatly shocked. He goes from this haughty look to getting off his horse and prostrating himself right there on the road.
And when we say prostrating, we mean full-on, face in the dirt.
Yes, it's the ultimate act of shedding your ego. He realizes he misjudged them. The Emperor didn't send a handler, he sent family.
And the 8th prince handles it perfectly, helps him up, treats him like a hero. It sets up this bond that's so important later.
It does. It shows the Song value talent, and it pays off immediately. Yang Yi meets the Emperor, gets a fancy title.
The Border Defense Militia Commissioner.
Right. And he's ready to serve. But, and this is a detail I absolutely love, he makes a specific choice about the battle to come.
The armor-on detail.
Exactly. He camps his troops south of the city. He is fully armored, ready for war. But the text says he does not fight.
It's so powerful. He's there, he's with the Song army, but he won't raise a weapon against his old master.
It's all about honor. To just turn around and start slaughtering his former comrades would make him a soulless mercenary.
By staying his hand, he's proving to Taizong he's a man of principle.
Which is great for Yang Ye's reputation, but really, really bad news for the guy still inside the city.
Let's talk about him. Lu Jun, the ruler of Northern Han. While Yang Ye is being celebrated, Lu Jun is having a complete meltdown.
Meltdown's a good word for it. The text says his soul flew away. He literally stops eating.
He knows it's over.
He knows that without Yang Ye, his military has no backbone. The mood inside Taiwan just plummets from "we can do this" to "how long do we have?"
And the Song army doesn't wait around. The commander, Pan Renmai, starts by building a long siege wall around the city.
And we shouldn't just gloss over that. A siege wall isn't a fence. This is a massive engineering project.
Right.
We're talking about a huge earthen fortification, maybe miles long, with moats and towers. It turns the city into a prison. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out.
They're completely choked off. And then comes the assault, the sound drums and gongs shaking the ground. And the arrows, that's the image that really stuck with me.
The hedgehog.
Yeah, tell us about that.
It's so visceral. The text says so many arrows were fired that the city walls look like a cavern of hair.
Yeah.
Or like the quills of a hedgehog.
Just imagine that, looking at a stone wall and not seeing any stone, just wood and feathers, the sheer volume.
It also tells you that the Song are getting desperate too.
How so?
Well, you don't fire that many arrows if your plan is working. You fire that many when you can't get over the wall and you're just trying to suppress the defenders by sheer volume. It's a sign of a stalemate.
And the emperor sees that. Taizong goes to the front lines himself. He's frustrated. He offers them a chance to surrender. They refuse. The arrows aren't working. The hedgehog strategy is a failure.
This is the crisis point. They have the numbers, they have the momentum, but Taiwan is just too tough to crack. And if this drags on, disease could hit the camps. Or worse, the Liao could show up.
Taizong needs a breakthrough, and he's not getting it from his generals.
So he gets it from his subconscious.
The dream. This is where the story pivots from military history into something else.
Magical realism, yeah. So Taizong is asleep in his tent. It's just before dawn, the fifth watch. And he dreams a woman arrives in a sedan chair, escorted by these yellow-turbaned strongmen.
Who is she supposed to be?
The River East Little Saint. Probably a local deity, a spirit of the land. It's a classic trope. The ruler getting a divine sign confirms you have the mandate of heaven.
So she hands him a note, like a divine post-it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And on it are 8 characters, but the key phrase is Rengi Zibing Keipo Taiwan.
Rengi soldiers can break Taiwan.
Exactly.
He wakes up, she's gone. He calls in his advisors to decode this, and this is where I need a little help. Rengi, what on earth does that mean? My footnote said something about heavenly stems.
Right. So this is foundational Chinese cosmology. The timekeeping system used 10 heavenly stems and 12 earthly branches. Think of the stems as being linked to the 5 elements.
Okay, fire, water, wood, that kind of thing.
Precisely. So Ren is yang water. Gi is yin water. And on the cosmic compass, the direction associated with the element of water is always
The north.
the north. So when the spirit says run Gi soldiers, she isn't naming a person, she's giving him a compass heading.
It's a cosmic cheat code. Your enemy is weak to water or north attacks.
It is. It's a specific tactical instruction. Focus your assault on the north gate. And Taizong doesn't even hesitate. He orders the army to pivot and swarm the north gate.
Now, let's just pause on that. Do we think a goddess actually visited him? Or is this just a brilliant piece of leadership?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
If you tell your tired soldiers, hey, let's attack the north gate, I've got a hunch, they might grumble. But if you say, a goddess appeared to me in a dream and commanded us to attack the north gate.
Suddenly, it's a holy mission. It focuses everyone's morale. And morale is a weapon.
And speaking of morale, it's hitting rock bottom inside the city. Because it seems like the dream network is working for both sides.
It is. That same night, Lu Yun, the Han ruler, also has a dream. But his is, let's just say it's less encouraging.
He sees a golden dragon.
Coming from the north gate.
The dragon being the emperor, of course.
Yeah.
And it's bringing water with it.
The symbolism is not subtle. And then a voice in his dream quotes a classic text, saying, the benevolents are not worried, the wise are not perplexed, the brave are not afraid.
Wow, that's his own subconscious just roasting him. It's saying you're terrified because you're a bad ruler.
It completely breaks him. He wakes up, and at that very moment, he gets news that the actual physical walls at the north gate are starting to collapse. The dream becomes real.
The gate is breached, the Song are in, and this is the point where things usually get very, very bloody. The text even uses the phrase, the misery of city slaughter.
But Lu Yun makes a choice. To his credit, he sees it's over. And to prevent a massacre of his people, he decides to surrender.
He comes out, and the visual here is it's pure cinema.
It really is.
He's wearing white mourning clothes.
Which is such a powerful cultural signal. In the West, we associate black with mourning. In China, it's white. He's dressing himself as a corpse.
He's saying, I'm already dead, I accept my guilt, do what you will.
It is total abject submission. He's expecting to be executed.
But Taizong, of course, pulls the classic benevolent emperor move.
He does. He doesn't kill him. He doesn't even imprison him. He pardons him on the spot. And then he gives him a gift.
Patterned clothes and a jade belt. He literally changes his costume.
He transforms him from a ghost back into a nobleman, gives him titles, makes him a duke. It's a masterclass in performative mercy.
Taizong then gives a speech saying his army is a force of consolation. Which sounds like propaganda, but, I mean, it worked.
It's the hearts and minds strategy, 1,000 years early. If you slaughter the city, you rule over ghosts. If you spare them, you show everyone else that joining the song is the smart move.
And the final tally is huge. They don't just get a city. They get 10 prefectures, 40 counties, and what was the number?
Over 125,000 households.
That's a massive number. In that economy, households are everything. That's taxes, labor, food.
And strategically, it's even bigger. By taking northern Han, the Song finally secure that northern frontier. They now have a direct line of defense against the Liao.
It's the end of an era. The 10 Kingdoms period is effectively over.
It is. The Song are now the undisputed champions.
It's just the perfect story. You get the hard engineering, the siege walls, the horror of the hedgehog arrows, but also the mystical riddle that solves the whole puzzle.
And it reminds you that for the people writing and reading this, those two things weren't separate. The River East Little Saint was as much a part of the war effort as the siege engines were.
You needed both. You needed the mandate of heaven and a really big army.
A balanced approach to world domination.
Right.
Okay, let's shift scenes. Imagine you've been at the casino all night. It's 4 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
The lights are buzzing. Your eyes are dry. And you're just running on caffeine and pure adrenaline. You've been grinding for hours, sweating bullets, and then finally, you hit the jackpot. A massive pile of chips slides across the felt. Now, the smart move here is obvious. Cash out.
Go get a steak dinner. Get some sleep.
Look up a winner. But then you look at the table again.
And your brain starts playing tricks on you. You think, I'm not tired. I'm unstoppable.
Exactly. You think the universe is finally bending to your will. So instead of walking away, you take that massive pile of winnings and you shove it all in on the next hand. Today, we aren't talking about poker chips or roulette wheels, though. We are talking about the fate of an empire.
And the stakes are considerably higher than a mortgage payment. We're talking about the lives of tens of thousands of soldiers and really the stability of the Song dynasty.
We're diving into a pivotal, high-stakes moment. The Song dynasty has just pulled off a massive victory. They conquered Taiwan, they defeated the northern Han, the pot is theirs. But Emperor Taizong? He's standing at that casino table.
And he has to decide.
Go home and celebrate. Or double down and attack the superpower of the North, the Liao dynasty.
It is such a rich text because it moves away from just, armies clashing and it gets into the messy psychology of leadership. We're going to unpack how ego, petty office politics, and the seduction of momentum drove a decision that changed the course of Chinese history.
Was this a brilliant strategic gamble that just happened to fail?
Or was it a disaster waiting to happen, fueled by a leader who just didn't know when to quit?
It's complex because for a little while, it looks like genius.
It really does. But usually when you ignore reality for too long, reality has a pretty nasty way of catching up.
Let's get into the specifics. So it's the 4th year of the Taiping-Shingguo era. The city of Taiwan has fallen.
The Northern Han regime is finished.
And the Song army is standing in the wreckage of their victory. Now, conventionally, what's the playbook here?
Conventionally, you go home. The original plan, the sensible plan, was to pack up, return to the capital, reward the troops, and, recover.
Sure.
War is incredibly draining. You have to remember, these guys haven't just been marching. They've been sieging a city for a long time.
But this is where the voices in the emperor's ear start to diverge. You have a faction saying go and a faction saying stop. Who's leading the charge to keep fighting?
That would be Pen Renmei. Now, if you're familiar with the Yang family general's lore, Pen Renmei is usually cast as the villain, the schemer.
Right, the bad guy.
But in this specific council meeting, we have to give him credit. He makes a very, very compelling military argument. He's playing the role of the hawk.
So what's his pitch to the emperor?
He looks at the map. The army is currently in Hedong. He argues that this region is the perfect springboard to strike at Yuzhou, which is the gateway to the north. It's territory held by the Khitan, the Liao dynasty.
The big bad wolf on the border.
It's a superpower. And Pan Renmei uses this famous idiom here, splitting bamboo.
Oh, yeah, it's a great visual.
It is. When you split a piece of bamboo, the hard part is getting the knife into that top knot. It takes force. But once you break that first node,
The blade just slides down the rest of the stock.
slides right through. So he's telling the emperor, you've already done the heavy lifting. The northern Han was the knot, the Liao territory. That's just the stock. He calls it a once-in-a-thousand-years opportunity.
That is a very seductive argument. We're already here, might as well finish the job. It screams efficiency.
It does.
But surely someone is looking at the soldiers and thinking, these guys look terrible.
And that's the Dove faction, led by Yang Guangmei. He brings the reality check. He doesn't talk about metaphors or bamboo. He talks logistics. He points out that the soldiers have been wearing their armor for months.
I think we gloss over that sometimes, wearing armor. We're not talking about a lightweight vest here. This is heavy, layered equipment.
It's heavy, it's hot, it chafes, it smells. They have been living in this gear, sleeping in it, fighting in it. Yang Guangmei says their supplies are running low. The spirit might be willing.
But the flesh is weak.
The flesh is literally bruised and exhausted. His advice is boring but sound. Go back to the capital, rest. Plan a slow, steady advance later.
So Emperor Taizong is stuck in the middle. You've got Pan Renmei whispering glory in one ear and Yang Guangmei whispering safety in the other.
Right.
If you're the listener right now, put yourself in those imperial boots. Do you strike while the iron is hot? Or do you let it cool down so you don't burn your hand?
In a vacuum, I think most rational leaders pick the safety option. You bank the win. But decisions aren't made in a vacuum. They're made in a pressure cooker. And there was a rumor circulating that, and that completely poisoned the emperor's judgment.
I found this detail fascinating. It's so petty, but it feels so real. This stems from something that happened during the siege of Taiwan.
Right. During the final push, things got chaotic. For a brief period, the soldiers couldn't find Emperor Taizong. Maybe he was repositioning, maybe he was obscured by dust. Who knows? But in that panic, a discussion started among the troops.
Oh, no.
They started saying, if the emperor is dead, we should make the 8 princes the new emperor.
The 8 princes Zhao Defang, the emperor's own nephew.
A very popular, very capable figure. And crucially, the 8 princes refused. He had no intention of usurping the throne. He didn't want the job.
Taizong heard about the conversation.
He heard about it, and that is a nightmare scenario for a paranoid ruler. Even if your nephew is loyal, the fact that the troops prefer him, that has gotta sting.
It didn't just sting, it festered. Taizong's already insecure about his legitimacy.
Totally. So now, fast forward back to this debate about attacking the Liao. Taizong is sitting there stewing on this rumor. And to punish the army for even thinking about replacing him, he intentionally delays the rewards for the Taiwan victory.
That is shockingly petty. You guys like him. Fine. No bonuses for anyone.
It is pure spite. The troops are grumbling. They just won a huge war and have nothing to show for it. So the 8 princes, being the good guy that he is, he steps forward and publicly supports Yang Guangmei's plan.
To go home.
Right. He says, the soldiers are suffering. They haven't been rewarded. We should go back. He's trying to advocate for the common soldier.
Which, ironically, probably just made him look even more popular in the emperor's eyes.
Precisely. It backfired spectacularly. Taizong snaps. The text quotes him shouting in front of everyone, wait until you have the empire, then you can do as you please.
Oof. That line carries so much weight. Wait until you have the empire. He's basically saying, I'm not dead yet.
It rips the mask off. The decision to attack the Liao stopped being about strategy right there. It wasn't about splitting bamboo anymore.
It was about Taizong asserting dominance.
Exactly. He needed to prove that he calls the shots. If the 8 princes wants to go home, then the emperor must want to attack. He's doubling down just to spite his nephew.
It's amazing how history turns on these fragile ego moments.
Mm.
So the room is probably dead silent after that outburst.
I imagine so. Then General Gao Huai steps in. He's a savvy operator. He sees the emperor is fuming and won't back down.
So he smooths things over.
He sides with the hawk, Pan Renmei. He says, oh, Yuzhou is just a short trip. If we win, we get eternal peace. It gives Taizong the validation he needs.
So the die is cast. Logic is out. Emotion is in. Taizong appoints a guy named Lu Boksun to run Taiwan, and he turns the entire army north.
We're going to war with the Liao, and this is where the source text does something really beautiful and jarring. We get this massive contrast between the reality of the soldiers and the world around them.
I noticed that. The descriptions get very flowery all of a sudden.
It's late spring. The text describes peach blossoms like brocade, willows dragging gold. It mentions the smell of village wine wafting through the air, red apricots on the trees.
It sounds like a vacation brochure.
That's the irony. The text explicitly says, following the emperor, the heart is busy and hates the distance. Marching to war, the will is urgent and hates the delay.
So you have these soldiers tramping through these beautiful, fragrant flower fields.
Probably smelling that wine and thinking, I just want to be home drinking that, but instead they're marching toward a new enemy.
But here's the tricky part. Despite the bad motivation and the grumpy soldiers, Pan Rinmai's prediction, it actually starts to come true.
It does, and that's the worst thing that could have happened. It's the beginner's look at the casino. They arrive at the first stop, Yizu.
Okay.
The Liao governor there is a man named Lu Yu. He looks at this massive Song army and he panics. He asks his aide, Guizheng, what do we do?
And Guoxing's a realist.
Not at all. He argues that the Song army has the spirit of victory. He uses a very violent image. He says if they resist, they will be ground to powder.
Ground to powder is a strong motivator.
You'd think. So he volunteers to go negotiate a surrender. He goes to the Song camp, lays on the flattery, calls the army thunder and lightning, and basically hands over the keys to the city.
And what do they get from this?
The loot is significant. By taking Yizu without a fight, Taizong gets 20,000 soldiers, 150,000 units of grain and fodder, and 600 horses.
Okay, well, that changes the calculus, doesn't it? If I'm the emperor, I'm looking at the Duff action and saying, see? I told you, we just got a massive resupply and 20,000 fresh troops. Who's tired now?
Exactly. It validates the gamble. And Taizong plays the benevolent conqueror. He keeps the Liao governor in his post.
Sending a message to the next city down the road.
Surrender, and you keep your job. Resist, and powder.
Which leads to the domino effect. The second stop is Zuozu.
Right. And the governor there, Lu Hud, gets similar advice. His subordinate, Tingui, basically says, surrender to ensure wealth and status. It's pure pragmatism.
They see the Song army as a gravy train.
So Zuzu surrenders too.
Just like that. In barely 20 days, Taizong has captured 2 major prefectures without a single battle.
He hasn't lost a man. The text even includes a poem praising him, saying his prestige travels 1,000 miles.
At this point, Taizong must feel invincible. He ignored all the good advice, and look at him now. He is winning territory just by showing up.
He probably thinks he's a military genius. It's the confirmation bias trap. It worked, so it must have been a good decision.
But, as we know, the house always wins eventually. This splitting bamboo momentum finally hits a knot.
The news reaches the capital of the Liao dynasty, and we have to be clear, the Liao are not the Northern Han. They aren't some small regional power that's falling apart.
No, this is a warrior empire.
The sleeping dragon wakes up, the news hits Yuzu, and reaches Empress Dowager Xiao. She's the power behind the throne.
And she doesn't panic.
Not like those local governors. She acts decisively. She calls in her heavy hitters. Her minister recommends 2 generals, Yelushidi and Yelusha.
And the text makes a point of saying they're the real deal.
It emphasizes they have both wisdom and courage. These are professionals. She also appoints a monitor, Yelushuj, to oversee the operation.
And they're not coming with a skeleton crew.
No, they march out with 50,000 elite troops.
50,000 elites! That stops the splitting bamboo theory dead in its tracks.
It changes the equation completely. Up until now, the Song army has been fighting fear. Now they have to fight steel. The 2 armies meet outside Yuzu. The text describes the flags and drums touching. It's a dense, massive display of force.
The free ride is over. We have a standoff. So Pan Rinmai, the hawk, he holds a council. Who steps up to fight?
Hu Yanzan. He's a Song general, very eager. He volunteers to take the first crack at them to, quote, dampen the Liao soldiers' spirit.
Right.
He gets 8,000 infantry. And our mediator from earlier, Gao Huaid, volunteers to back him up with 8,000 cavalry.
So we have roughly 16,000 Song troops stepping out against 50,000 Liao elites. The math isn't great.
Not great, but they have that momentum, right? They feel invincible. Let's see how that feeling holds up.
The armies line up. What happens?
The Liao general, Yelushidi, rides out. Hu Yanzan rides out to meet him. And of course, it starts with the insults.
It wouldn't be an ancient battle without some trash talk.
Hu Yanzan calls him a Liao barbarian peasant. They go at it. Spear versus axe. They fight for several rounds, and It's a dead heat. No clear winner.
That's already a bad sign for the Song. They need a quick win to keep that momentum going.
And the Liao didn't come to play fair. The second Liao general, Ye Sha, sees his partner isn't winning instantly. He just rides out and joins the fight.
So now it's a 2-on-1.
A 2-on-1 duel. Hu Yanzan is holding his own, but he's at a severe disadvantage.
And that's when Gao Huaid, the cavalry commander, sees his friend in trouble.
Gao Wai charges in with his spear. Now it's 2-on-2. The text describes 4 horses trampling the dust, arrows flying back and forth between the armies like rain. It's just total chaos.
How long does this go on?
From morning until noon.
Hours. In the result. Who breaks?
Nobody. It's a stalemate. Neither side can break the other. And this is the moment that brings the entire narrative full circle.
Huh?
After hours of fighting, Hu Yanzan, the guy who was so eager to dampen their spirit, shouts out to the enemy.
What does he say?
He yells, "The horses are tired. Let's fight again tomorrow."
The horses are tired.
And both sides just agree. They stop fighting. They separate. They go back to camp.